Hello everyone! Second video on this topic, because I've been getting a lot of concerns and questions about the specific aspect of how the heck is a pony going to play a piano, basically. That's kind of the gist of the concerns. And I thought I'd just make a video for everyone to see of how I'm exactly going to do this. I've been thinking about this a lot, because I've had a lot of time to think about it. It's because I wanted to make this animation years ago, and this is a problem that I ran into very, very early on. It's just that now I'm deciding that I want to be more accurate with the placement of the keys using actual notes from the song, like through this MIDI, like to get the visual representation of where the keys would probably be pressed, approximately. But yeah, this is a problem I had for a while, where, you know, hooves don't have fingers, they're just basically just knuckles, very, very large knuckles slamming on the keyboard. And obviously, if you do that in real life, you can't do anything musical, you just make noise, which makes sense. But the main thing I've realized when thinking about this over the years is the keyboard itself doesn't really matter too much for this. Because if anyone's ever seen this part of this episode, the keyboard is barely visible. Look, let's actually bring this up a bit more. And if we scrub through this, the piano only appears in like 2 shots. Technically 3 shots, since one shot is actually pretty much the same shot as another one. But if we scrub through this, the first time it appears, the actual keys, which is actually what I use as reference, is this shot here. This is a very clear view of the keyboard, but this is not during the song. This is her speech at the start. She's not playing, so that doesn't matter too much. The only other time during the song the keys are actually in frame is way over here, and you don't even see most of it. It also makes another appearance a little later on that's like the same camera angle right here. So yeah, it's technically not a big deal if the keyboard is that accurate. What I care about is actually the positioning of the hooves and the timing of when the keys are pressed, because you can still see the hooves most of the time, just not the keyboard. And the main thing I want to fix from the original animation from DHX is those things, the positioning of the hooves and the timing. They're mostly pretty off in DHX's animation. And while I can't add fingers to hooves and make her play the piano as if she was a real person with hands, that's not going to happen. I'm not trying to make that happen. What I want to make happen is just to get the timing and the positioning of the hooves down to be as approximately close to as accurate as possible. Does that make sense? So if we look at this part of the animation here, look at the hooves. The piano's going nuts, but Bravo's just doing this. I want to fix that. You know, it doesn't look right. I know she can't have fingers, right? I at least want her to be doing a little bit more down here instead of just doing this. You know, it's... That's the idea of why I wanted to be more accurate. If that makes sense. And while I know the keyboard won't be in frame a whole lot, I still want to be animating the keys so I know where to place the hooves. And since the start of the song was fairly accurate, there's actually a few inaccuracies with like the lower range keys, but not a big deal. I was able to work around that before I got any help from anyone. But as you can see at the very start of the song, there's a 3-key chord that are quite separated. But how I'm working around this for pony hooves is that I'm having, instead of these separate keys getting pressed, I'm basically averaging the center location of where the keys are being pressed, and then based on how many keys are being pressed in the chord, I press that many keys around the center point. So we have this key in the center, which is going to be our center point, and since there's 2 keys on the side being pressed at the same time as well, so that's 3 in total, we have a key on the right side and a key on the left side being pressed. And since this left side key is a little bit further away than the right, I decided to skip the black key and go to the white. And the thing about my pony models is that their hooves are a little bit wider than a single key, a single white key. So they're like about here. Hold on. So they're like about here to here, maybe, about that range. So they are just barely able to hit 3 keys at once. So that's basically the limitations I'm working with chords. And since this beginning part was mostly accurate of this MIDI file, I decided to just animate most of it. As you can see. So if I play this out fully, you can see how I decide to play out the keys. Like that. And I already know some methods I could use to make the pony hooves a bit more convincing when playing a piano like this. Like, for example, in this part here, where in the high range of notes, it kind of goes up and down a little bit. A technique I developed for the hooves playing on this keyboard, yes, an actual technique of a fake keyboard, is to have one key continually to be pressed down, and then the next one will be pressed while keeping the other one held down. And once that key is pressed, let goes and continues to play the rest of this. So the reason I do this is because I presume, based on what I can tell from just listening to the song, is that one thing I know about pianos is that they have pedals, right? Obviously this doesn't have a pedal. I might actually implement that. Maybe you'll see how that works out. Maybe. But they have pedals. And I know one of the pedals basically lifts like the hammers from the strings inside the piano, so that whenever you press the key and then let go, the note will still keep like vibrating and continuing to fade away instead of abruptly ending when you let go of the key. And I think this whole song has that pedal pressed down, or most of it. It's hard to tell, but it feels like it like, I don't know any of the terminologies. Apologies for that, but I think that pedal is like being pressed the whole time. I don't think the notes abruptly end at pretty much any point in the song, except for a few points potentially. Of course, the musicians I'm going to be talking to, I already have a few in contact. I'll be talking to them and seeing if I can get a bit more information on that, and seeing if I get it a bit more accurate. But yeah, that's basically why that technique works, is that the key's not going to be abruptly ending anyway if you let go of the key. So I might as well just keep it held down so that when the hoof flattens out to the next key, like this, the motion will be a bit more natural looking. And I actually did this before. Let me show you. So if we look back at what I did in 2017, which is almost 3 years ago, but in 2017 I did this animation, and this is what this file is. So I did pretty much the same thing I'm doing now, but I did the entire guesswork of the piano keys. I didn't know anything about music. I still don't know anything about music, and I didn't use any guides back then. Now I'm trying to use guides of some sort so I can get a bit more closer to what I want. But basically, this is how the keyboard playing would play out. Hold on. I don't think I have audio. Yeah, I don't have audio in this file, it looks like, but let's line up the lens a little bit so we can get a little closer. So yeah, this is generally the technique I have for the hooves playing the piano. Now, I'll probably animate pretty close to this, but I have a better understanding of the hand gestures that would be used for piano playing. This is not quite it. It's close, but not quite. And you can see how this plays out in the full animation here. Might as well just show it again. You barely see the hooves, but it's there, and you can tell it's moving. You definitely can't see the keyboard. It was hard to watch, though. I've gotten way better at lip syncing since then. Oh my goodness. I am definitely reanimating everything there, by the way. That animation is going to be completely scrapped and redone. So, but yeah, that's generally how it's going to look. I already have a lot of this planned out. I just needed some sort of more accurate guide of where the keys would be pressed. That's basically it. That's all that I wanted to basically say in this video, and it's a pretty long way to say it, but I wanted to be thorough, at least. Anyway, I already do have a lot of people that are trying to contact me about this when I ask for help. So don't be surprised if you come out to help me now, I might not get to you. I'm still trying to work through a list of people who may be able to fit, or may not be able to fit in what I want to do. Or if they're able to do it. If you do want to help, don't be afraid to come out to ask. It's just, I might not get to you, you know. I already have a list to work through. So yeah, that's it. While I did want to make this video is just to basically address some of those points, I hope people that aren't even musicians could find this video kind of interesting. You know, kind of showing some of the behind the scenes stuff, you know. So yeah, I will see you guys later.